Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Debbie. Can we just start by you telling us a bit about Autumna and the services you provide?
Yes, sure. Autumna came about from me working with self-funding families over the last 10 years and realising that the information we needed to help them find the right care home wasn't available online. So everything we've done at Autumna, we've done from the perspective of the consumer and primarily the self-funding consumer. So what Autumna does is it answers all of the questions we've ever been asked by a family over all of the years. So it is a directory of actually care homes, home care and live-in care, but crucially the family can filter their searches. And I think we've got about 245 search filters at the moment. So if a care home provides a service, a family can find it. And that's what we needed to be able to do.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, obviously, you mentioned that the fact that you're focused on the self-funding care home market. From what you're hearing, how would you gauge the current consumer confidence in the sector?
Low. We have 4 touch points at Autumna. So we have the website where somebody can just dive in, search the directory and find the information they need. But we also have live chat, and the families are talking to us on live chat, and it's flagging up their concerns and worries. We also have an advice line, and we are getting a lot of feedback on the advice line about families really concerned about what they're hearing in the media, which is frankly the only area they're getting the information. It's from the media, and they are choosing what they consider to be an alternative to going into a care home. In fact, I've just had a chap on the phone literally an hour ago. His dad has dementia. He is living at home. He is not coping at home, but he thinks if he puts his dad into a care home, he will die of COVID. I mean, literally as simple as that. We need to address that situation.
Yeah,
we really do, for the family's sake, because his dad's not safe.
Yeah. So you're hearing obviously concerns of people are wanting to shift from residential care more into a home care setting. Is that right?
No, dad's living at home at the moment. So it's not so much people coming out of a care home. I think, to be honest, if a family is in a care home, unless they've gone into the wrong care home and it can't provide the support that they need, if they're already in a care home, then the majority of people are saying, actually, mum or dad are having a great time. It's people living at home who are watching the news and thinking, dad needs some support. It's not going to be a care home because of what I'm reading on the news.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We need to educate families.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what sort of advice would you give care home operators in terms of how they go about addressing those concerns?
Yeah, well, this is the reason we have launched 2 initiatives as a direct result of diving consumer confidence and COVID, as a result of COVID. So we have launched 2 things. We've launched SAFE and we've launched Glad to Care. So SAFE stands for Symptom Analysis for Everyone. So everything we do on Autumna has to be from the perspective of the consumer. If we can get it right for the self-funding consumer, work out what they need, then we're going to be in the vanguard of supporting their needs. When we've identified what that need is, in this case, where are the safe care homes? Is this care home safe? We kept being asked it time and time again, and we had no information. We then work out from the provider perspective, what can we do for the provider that will encourage them and they will benefit from providing the information we need. So we look at it from both sides. So what we've done with SAFE, we have enabled providers who want to publish their COVID-19 emergency support framework report by the CQC. They now have the ability to publish that on their profile page on Autumna, and it gives them a little SAFE icon, and consumers can search for care homes who have the SAFE icon. Now, our goals are to provide as much independently verified, third-party verified documentation that reinforces the fact that a care home is doing everything it can to be safe for its residents and the relatives coming in. At the moment, the only available evidence is the CQC report. But we're talking to lots of other sectors and industries who might be able to provide other evidence that would work for the care homes. I mean, we need to be promoting care homes as a safe place to be. I mean, that's the bottom line. And I think there were some stats that came out recently that said over 60% of care homes had not had any COVID at all. Would you agree with that? Have you heard those stats as well? Yeah. That's fantastic news, but nobody knows which the 60% are.
Yeah.
You're
so
a self-funding.
You're able to highlight that as well in terms of the search functionality.
Well, no, because there's no data.
Yeah.
All of the data about COVID is aggregated.
Yeah.
What we need is individual care home data, so that a self-funding consumer who is looking for care can identify 3, 4, 5 care homes that for whatever they're looking for will be able to meet their needs.
Yeah.
And at the moment, there just is no data. The only data we've got is the CQC.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there has data that they would like to publish, please talk to me, because we will publish it for you.
Yeah, that's interesting, because the lack of good quality data has been a big theme, obviously, of the current outbreak. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and there's symptom assessment, there's COVID assessment, there's anything that provides support for the consumer who is looking for the care, and evidence for the care provider that they've done a really good job and they're actually managing this. That's what we're trying to find. And that's what SAFE is ultimately aimed at doing.
So you're starting to talk to other organisations about developing better data, are you?
Yeah. If a hotel can manage something, if a restaurant can manage something, then so can the care sector. So we're talking to a whole range of people. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Watch this space.
Sounds good. Yeah. Keep us posted on that. Yeah. Obviously, looking at safety and obviously general communication between the care home and the consumer. Obviously, transparency is a big issue as well. Could you tell me a little bit about how your service sort of highlights this as well?
Yeah, it's all about information. So one of the key issues we've had over the last 10 years when we've been speaking to families is to actually find out more about the care home in a really easily comparable way. So the depth of information each profile page goes into is huge. And we have a data entry team who will upload the information from a provider's website. We load all of our information up, and on average we'll maybe have our profile page will be 60% complete. So we'll then phone them up and go, okay, now can you tell us all about this other stuff? And it's just giving loads more information. And one of the ways that we want to support a provider that is being really transparent, that's putting their fees on there, that's putting their contract up there, that's giving us details about their staff. One of the ways we support them is by having a profile strength indicator. And that just really allows the providers who are just literally going, yep, okay, this is all of our information. We have absolutely nothing to hide. This is all of the information. And it allows them to really clearly evidence that in comparison actually to other providers. And, you know, it's pretty similar to what you get on LinkedIn, isn't it? You know, it's just showing people how open you're being. And the consumers, as they start to get the idea of it, because this is all pretty new to people who are looking for care, as they start to get the idea of it, they're able to sort on our website by profile strength, as an example. So if you want more information because you're searching for a care home for your dad at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, this is, you'd be surprised how many people search for care homes at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, you need all of that information, so you can just search by the volume of information. Yeah, so we try and support.
Yeah, and we've seen obviously the issues that care home operators are having with admissions and going forward. Are you seeing a lot more interest in your service as a result of that? Or?
Yeah, so our inquiry line so this is the live chat and the advice line and the bespoke searches that we do, really dipped in April, May for care homes and shot through the roof for home care and live-in care. And we are now starting to see the care home inquiries coming back, as I think the providers are as well. But the crucial thing here that providers, I think, have to be really aware of is that a family can't walk in through your front door anymore and go and have a look around your care home. Your window is online, and you have got to open your online doors. You have got to have a virtual presence so that somebody feels like they've had a look around. I actually think that, as in many other industries, COVID just might be a defining factor in social care, in as much as the way people used to look for care homes would be they would pull up in the driveway, usually not have an appointment, spend an hour walking around, do that for 2, maybe 3 care homes, and then make a decision, and often not have a second visit. So I think from a consumer perspective, if care homes recognise that this is what they need, online information, I think the consumer will get a much better result. They will, in effect, virtually see many more care homes than they could possibly have hoped to have seen visiting in person. And then when you've found your shortlist, then you can visit 1 or 2 or 3, and you've really got the very best ones that suit you, you know, because everybody is so different. There's no one best care home. It's whatever suits you.
That's interesting. Yeah. So that sounds good, Debbie. Obviously, we've heard a lot of very doom and gloom sort of information about the possible outlook for care home providers. So you think there are some positives for them going forward?
I do. I think the care homes that embrace online, and it's not difficult, you know, we've been sending things out in our newsletter. Use your phone. Walk round, do a 360 of your phone, and you've got a virtual tour. Walk round and talk, you know, and show people what your rooms look like, what your garden looks like. Some of the activities obviously get permission if you've got anybody in the video, but, you know, you can upload all of this stuff onto Autumna. It's really easy. But you've got to get across the personality of your care home. That's the thing that is the deciding factor for families at the moment. We had a client who was looking for a care home for her mum. Very challenging situation for mum. I won't go into the details, but very challenging, very difficult search to try and find a shortlist for her. So we presented her in the end with 4 care homes. The care home she chose in the end was £200 a week more than their top budget, they told us when we first started looking. So I spoke to her and I asked her why she'd gone for the most expensive care home, the video. She said it was the only care home that had got a video, and she said, I looked at that video and I thought, that is how I want people to treat my mum. And it was that real personal interaction that she was responding to. I don't think there's any doubt that video will be the future for care homes as a key influencer.
That's
I really do.
Debbie.
Yeah, and of course Facebook as well.
Yeah.
You know, if families in the past were looking at a care home for an hour, going around, having a look, and then coming away and making a decision. Now, if we can get them to engage with online video and Facebook, and on Autumna you can link to your Facebook feed and everything, but you've then got 2, 3, 4 months of activities that you're looking at. You're really building up the personality of the care home. It really is about personality and people.
Yeah, that's really good, Debbie. Yeah, it's been really interesting. There's a lot of food for thought there. Now, hopefully, our readers will get some good tips there, obviously, for the months ahead.
Well, we've the other initiative that we've launched to reassure families about what's been going on in care homes during the lockdown is Glad to Care. So Glad to Care, direct result of COVID and families not being able to go in. The care home open day was cancelled, obviously. So we thought we need to do something digital. We need to do something online. So Glad to Care Week starts on the 6th of July. And we are encouraging providers. We're trying to get them on this online journey, and we're really encouraging them to take video and post it onto their Facebook page, #GladToCare. We'll pick it up, we'll share it, and we'll promote what they're doing. We just need to get this out into the open. Some of the care homes are having such a good time. I mean, I know it's been hard, I know it's been difficult, but they're being so inventive and using so much initiative. It's great.
That's great, Debbie. Yeah, well, good luck with the campaign, and yeah, it's something we'll be keeping an eye on. And thanks again for joining us today.
My pleasure.